Good evening to our friends and welcome to our last session for today, Poetry for Freedom, Justice, and Peace. Prepare to prepare your ears for a feast of words featuring our language and language that could be familiar to you. But first, let me introduce our speakers, our poets for our session. Ian Rosales Casocot is a fictionist and teaches film, literature, and creative writing at Silliman University in Dumaguete City, Philippines. He has won several Palanca Awards for his fiction, plays, and children's poetry. He was writer in residence for the International Writers Program of the University of Iowa in the US in 2010. He has produced the film documentary City of Literature, directed by the Chinese filmmaker Zhao Louis Liu. He is profiled in the literature volume of the Cultural Center of the Philippines CCP Encyclopedia of Philippine Arts. Mga kaibigan, Ian Rosales Casocot, give him a round. Ned Parfan is the author of three collections of poetry, The Murmur Asylum, Tilt Me and I Bend, and Beloved Antimatter, all published by the University of the Philippines Press. The Vanished, his translation of Chuck Berry Pascual's Ang Nawawala, published by 19th Avenida Publishing House, was finalist for Best Translated Book of the National Book Awards in 2024. An assistant professor at the University of Santo Tomas, he currently serves as director of the UST Publishing House and is a member of the Board of Trustees of the Book Development Association of the Philippines. My friends, Ned Parfan. And of course, Attorney Nicolas B. Pichay is a director of the Senate Legislative and Law Library of the Senate of the Philippines, specializing in intellectual property law, cultural heritage law, and rights selling. He is also a published writer of plays, poems, and legal articles, with a keen interest in the intersection of law, culture, and literature. His work reflects a commitment to safeguarding both the creative rights of authors and the cultural patrimony of the nation. His vision is to serve as a bridge between writers and publishers so that Philippine literary works may gain international recognition while being commercially protected. Mga Ginoo at Binibini, Nicolas Pichay. I will leave the floor to our poets.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to read two poems, and later on, I'm going to read a poem with the three of us together. The first one is titled Move On. This poem was occasioned by the fact that in the presidency of Mr. Duterte in the Philippines, not so long ago, we protested the ascendancy of the Marcoses in the country. But all we got from the establishment is their call of ridicule. You have to move on. So this poem that I wrote in my language of Binisaya is a poem of protest. Move on. There is a translation, of course. Nikatawag hilom ang kawatan. Sa pagkadungog niya, mintras nanagos siya sa kangit-ngit, sa ilalom sa balay. Pag-ingon ni Manang Bugok, kadto ni Virginia nga gahilak. Move on na day, kawat ra na. Unsay move on Manang Bugok, nitubag sab si Virginia. Akong mga sanina gikawat, ang akong mga panty, ang mga brief sa akong asawa, bisag busluton, gikawat. Wala na mi masuot. Move on na day, ingon ra gihapon ni Manang Burgok. Unsay move on, nitubag na sab si Virginia. Akong rice cooker gikawat pod. Mukaon na lang kog hilaw nga humay. Move on na day, ingon ra gihapon si Manang Bugok. Hasta gani ang humay gikawat. Naglagot na jud si Virginia. Ang akong sardinas, ang maling, ang munggos, ang bulad, ang gatas para sa bata. Move on na day, ingon ra gihapon si Manang Bagok. Unsay move on, nitubag na sab si Virginia. Wala na sad ang mga tukador namo, ang kabinet, ang mga silya, ang lamisa nga gigama ni Junior, kadtong bata pa siya. Bungbong ug salog na lang ang nabilin namo ug bisan ang tile sa salog, gikawat pa jud. Move on na day, ingon ra gihapon si Manang Bugok. Og nitindog si Virginia, gilampaso, gimudmud ang nawong ni Manang Bugok sa bahong iniduro nga puno og tae nga wala gikawat. Niyagak ang tigulang. Move on na nang, ingon pa si Virginia. Tae ra na. Og naghadlok ang kawatan, naghilom-hilom og lingkawat sa dakong kangitngit ngadto sa gabi. That's the first poem. The second poem I'm going to read is a Pakistani poet based in my hometown, and this is for the children of Gaza. The title of the poem is City of Dreams. Once there was a city that was filled with books, books everywhere, heaps and heaps of books, and a bookshop in every neighborhood. In this city, there were libraries filled with books and librarians who could tell you anything you'd want to know about the place. Many children would try to stump the librarians with questions like, what was the biggest fish ever caught by the local fishermen? Or if it was true that the olive tree on the hill was 2,000 years old, or if sunbirds could dream. But the librarian would always have an answer. And even if they didn't have, and even if they didn't, they would say, come back tomorrow, we will find the answer. The children of this city were bursting with curiosity, and they spent all of their time around books, learning new things every day. And between books, they found time to play on the beach and in the city squares. One day, an imperial army arrived in the city with designs to take it over. They liked this place very much. The city had a nice coastline and got plenty of sunshine. Here, they grew oranges that were sweet as honey, and the olives, glistening like jewels, produced liquid gold. The bounty of books did not interest the newcomers. In fact, they looked at books and writers with suspicion because they knew that reading books led to asking questions, and asking questions naturally led to trouble. So the imperial takeover commenced against the will of the local residents, who became prisoners in their own land. Under this new regime, the books were first to go. Book burning became a regular occurrence, and pages of history and local lore were lit up in flames in city squares. Bookshops were turned into military outposts. The libraries were converted into prisons, and the universities leveled to the ground. A haunting silence took over the city. Professors and teachers disappeared. Writers and poets were nowhere to be found. Librarians, too, all of them, the men and women of letters, gone without a trace, as if erased. The disappearance of books and storytellers did little to quell the curiosity of the children in the city. On the contrary, the unavailability of printed literature sparked something inside of them. The hunger for stories and answers stoked in their imagination. And in their imagination transported them to places they had never been to before. It's as if a fire had been ignited, a tidal wave that stretched from the river to the sea, looming over the heads of the imperial army. To the one holding a hammer, everything looks like a nail. A consequence, it is widely accepted, of lacking imagination. For to live without books is to not live at all. This point had escaped the imperial army, and they could be seen frequently stabbing at air, and wondering why the dreams in this city would not die. I would like to read the postscript that he wrote for this particular poem. Can you imagine a city without books? A city without writers? Yet in Gaza, books have been bombed into oblivion and writers systematically erased. That is not sensationalism, it is reality. In the last 24 months, Israel has destroyed virtually every university, library, and bookstore in Gaza. Thousands of writers, poets, teachers, students, librarians have been murdered. Since 2023, Israel has killed over 230 journalists, making it the deadliest conflict for media in history. So, what can we as writers do about this? Can poetry and prose stop bullets or bombs? Is this wishful thinking? Not at all. Writers have long stood at the forefront of justice movements. Entire nation states have risen from the mighty pens of revolutionary writers. This assault on books and culture in Gaza is an assault on all who value books and culture. This assault on Palestinian journalists is an assault on all journalists. This genocide against Palestinians is an assault against all of humanity. As an activist, Angela Davis once famously said, "If they come for me in the morning, they will come for you in the night." Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. As you may have seen in the news, during the Duterte administration, assassinations were rampant, and even after his term. And there was a span of several hours between my cousin being gunned down by a riding in tandem, motorcycle riding in tandem, and me finding out that he had died. And I was thinking about all of those instances wherein one of our loved ones, uh, has passed away, and it took us, several hours or minutes before finding out about it. So, what were we doing in those minutes and hours? So, in my case, I was attending my college's graduation. I was one of the professors, and I found out about it right after the ceremony. In Jose Rizal's novel, Nol Me Tangere, the same thing happened to the mother, Sisa. She didn't know that one of her children had been killed, and that's what I wrote about. The garden. Frog skull dangling from the sharp end of a broken branch, a grasshopper impaled on a thorn. Do you hear it calling, my love? The brown shrike, the garden butcher is upon us again, hidden in the foliage of the kamuning. I wonder if he watches me, beak over shoulder. I wonder if the little heart beats faster whenever I look him in the eye. Did the mother sense her son watching over her, my love, the morning she harvested from her garden? Sisa bent over her vegetables at the first flush of dawn, gathering the smoothest tomatoes, the greens moist with dew, the gourd she had been waiting to ripen. Could she have seen it there, the signs of violence? The night before, the black dog appeared before her, dragging what looked like a child. But the morning diffuses dreams, and Sisa went on to the riverside to fetch for the priest his favorite ferns. The priest whose hand caned her little Crispine, the priest whose hand the little bird had bitten. She covered the basket with some flowers, making her offering a petition for clemency. And there around her, the wounded garden, his voice shredded into a rustling of bamboo leaves, the earth redder under the sun. Is it still an apparition, my love, if the intended beholder did not receive? Clear as morning, the evidence she did not want to see. She started walking into town, rehearsing what to say. This is all I have. And behind her footsteps, her garden started dying. The weeds spread over like an eager disease. The carrots turned porous and ate the dirt. The vines on the trellises dried themselves to a crisp. The lettuce buried themselves. After watching the flowers perform their own funeral, the river changed its course to avoid the pain. The birds migrated, the fish died of thirst, and then the angels descended and cried salt over the soil, making sure that nothing will ever grow back. And so when the mother returns after hearing the news, my love, even with the tears, then she will see. Thank you.
the the Filipino theme for the book Mese is from a novel by Jose Rizal. And Jose Rizal is a national hero of the Philippines because he literally sparked a revolution by writing two novels, No Limitangere, from which the quote comes from. The imagination is peopled with air, and uh, another thing that he wrote is a poem entitled Mi Ultimo Adios. And the interesting part of this poem is that it was written the night before he was executed by the Spanish authorities. So in school, we were forced to memorize the Spanish version of the poem, and because we're not very good Spanish learners, we hated it. So when I figured out maybe we should translate it to some other language that we can appreciate, and so I translated this in English. Mi Ultimo Adios, free verse translation into English. Adiós, patria adorada, región del sol querida, perla del mar de oriente nuestro perdido Edén. To you I bequeath this sad and troubled life. If it were brighter, younger, more extravagant, even then I'd offer it to you. In the fields of battle, in fierce combat, others give their lives willingly, without regret, whether fallen, crowned in cypress, laurel, or lily, or shot in an open field, in war or cruel execution. If all this is for your sake, I will not hesitate. I die as the sky unfurls its colors and a cape of darkness embraces the day. If you need to jolt the color of dawn, you have my blood shed in good time. May it be burnished by the sun's light. My dreams, my ideals in my youth, my dreams even now as a man were to see you. One day, a jewel of the Orient Sea. Dry those sunken eyes, raise your forehead high, no mark of sadness, no burden of age or stain of shame. My life's dream, this deep burning desire, this soul that will soon depart, cries out, Salud! To life. I, to fall so you may fly, to die so you may breathe, to die under the sky, to enter the mysterious country and find eternal sleep. One day, if you see upon my grave a nothing flower among the wild grass, pluck it so you may know my soul, and in the cold tomb below, I shall feel your kiss. The moon will gaze with tranquil light, the dawn will warm with a fleeting radiance. Let the wind moan in low murmur, and should the bird rest on my cross, let it sing in peace. Let the sun usher the rains to calm whatever trouble I've left behind. Let a friend mourn this early departure. And in praying for me, my countrymen, pray also that I find rest. Pray for the unfortunate dead, for those with unbearable suffering, for bitter mothers left in grief, for orphans and widows and tortured prisoners, and pray that redemption finds you. In the cemetery's dark night, there where only the dead remain, disturb not their rest nor the mystery of their death. And if you hear a melody, it will be I singing to you. When my grave has been forgotten, the cross lost, not even a stone to mark it, Let the farmers come to plow the earth before my bones come to nothing. Let my ashes blanket the earth. Then nothing will matter. I will be nothing but air that runs freely in valleys. To your ears, I will be a faint whistle. I will be the smell, the light, the color, the hum, the pleasure, and the song. This repeats only one thing: my conviction, my faith, my muse, my country, sorrow of my sorrows. Querida Filipinas, oye el postrer adios. I leave you all, my parents, my beloved. I go where there are no slaves, butchers, nor dictators, where faith is not a cause for death, where the one who reigns is God. Adios, padres y hermanos, shards of my soul, childhood friends, and my home, all lost. Be thankful. There is peace now after this wearisome day. Adios, dulce extranjera, mi amiga, mi alegra, my loved ones. Adios. To die is to rest. Thank you. I want to write a poem because this is the theme of this poem is justice and freedom and peace. I wrote this poem in the 1980s when gay people were not allowed in the Philippines, or at least they were not. They did not exist in the public eye. The poem is a little bit raunchy, so I hope you don't mind. There is a little boy over there. I hope he doesn't understand English very well. And I need an assistant to read me the refrain of the poem. Are there any, to read the refrain of the poem in German? I got it translated into German. Would you like to read? Okay. Please join me. Ready? Ready?
Yes, ready.
The title of the poem is This is a Delicate Matter, Sucking Cock. This is a delicate matter, sucking cock. You might not like it right away. Remember not to pounce indiscriminately in the dark, lest you gag with foot in your mouth. Nevertheless, do not deprive yourself blind to the call of truth in thyself, nor accept as gospel truth society's definition of what it is to be a man.
Das ist eine eikle Sache. Schwanz lutschen, das gefällt dir vielleicht nicht sofort.
The mouth must be perfectly shaped. Incisors are not permitted to claw. The larynx must also be open so that everything may be taken all the way. If by these he still does not groan in pleasure, look again. Your bedmate might be a fish. Go look for someone else. Our community is full of mermaids.
Das ist eine heikle Sache. Schwanz lutschen, das gefällt dir vielleicht nicht sofort.
And there is no truth to the old wives' tale that a gentleman's love is never repaid. For how then that a poor shepherd such as I was able to find a matching slice of life? While walking along an unromantic riverbank, with a glance he aroused the tip of my desire, and after crossing swords without drawing blood, swore by the shimmer of the goddess moon.
Das ist eine heikle Sache. Schwanz lutschen, das gefällt dir vielleicht nicht sofort.
By my leave, I give you word, a simple advice, do not take offense. The severe and mindless tirade of pontificating men holier than thou. Because the true metal of a man is not found in his color, intellect, orientation, or looks. It is in the purity and sincerity of his dealings with other men. This is a delicate matter, sucking cock, a fact that everyone must be aware of. No reason to hide in shame. Emerge from the dark, my friends. Thank you. Ay, sorry, nababaan.
Okay lang. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. How do I? Yeah. Okay. Approximately 1 in every 10 Filipinos are not based in the Philippines. They're working in different parts of the world, and we wanted to represent them here as well. So this is a poem by a Filipino in the diaspora. This is Polytoxic by Eric Gamalinda.
You will die on your way to America.
You're declared missing long before you disappear.
They've called off all further search for you.
The bullets are dormant in their breathtaking shells.
But it's still too early to patrol the hemisphere.
Someone else will watch the suicides.
Lie down beneath the firelight of missiles.
One world persists in the eye of television.
Another in the eye of the newborn.
Let the oldest living person have her say.
Before the parliaments of the world.
Let all who feed on the suffering of others say, I.
Cities become longings, departures canceled on a blinking screen.
Let your body be drawn to my body.
My heart is ticking inside its shelter.
Dug in and waiting for someone to misstep and explode.
You walk away. There are no exits.
Your country is your poem. No one has been spared.
You will die in the name of America.
Fall from the sky, you black-suited angels.
Grief is a river that hollows out the soul.
So that grace in the guise of silence can settle in.
May these words be invisible like light.
May light infiltrate the unsuspecting.
You say your name, it no longer belongs to you.
Your country is your poem. No one has been spared.
You walk away. Your absence walks ahead of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.